And here we are back again. This is the mountain that I mentioned earlier with the waterfall. And Misty lying at Alyra's feet, just, you know. Oh, there she goes. She's waking up. Can we go for a ride now? Come on, Misty. Stand up. Stand up. Come on. Up we go. That a girl. Okay. Now we're going to ride. Hop up. Okay. Even though it's still night. But the nice thing about riding around at night, or walking around at night, is you get to hear the night sounds. It's the island, we really, I think, did a nice job getting appropriate sound effects for the different areas. And it's nice to hear it both at night and during the day. You can hear the things making their noises, including the farm behind us and the honking geese or quacking ducks or whatever they are. And here you can see Windang Hall all lit up. And that's toned way down. When I first put that out, it was like Disneyland with all the fireworks going off. Here we got a few deer out here. I almost said goats, but these are deer. We used to have a lot more of the static animals around, but I took them up. We had wolves and one thing and another, but we were running out of prims, and I thought it was more interesting to have some of the, like the rabbits and things that actually moved around. There are other animals out there too, not just rabbits. I think there are some weasels or ferrets or mink or something, but I don't know where they went to. They're probably out there, I just don't know where they are. But, you know, that's the way animals are. They're there, you just don't always see them. But they're part of the environment. Okay, so that's, yeah, back over and look at my lovely house again. All lit up like a Christmas tree. Yeah, I like Windang Hall. With its nice cozy fire going. The fireplace inside took a lot of work to get it to work properly. Come on now, there we go. And we can trot. We can canter. We can even flat out gallop, but I don't want to do that right here because this is kind of uneven ground and not a lot of space. Oop. And she's hard to steer. There we go. Here we go. This is the apple orchard. And you can actually pick apples off those trees. You can climb the ladder and pick apples, and maybe I'll do that a little later when I'm not on the horse. There's a HUD for her that gives me the ability to tell her to stay and do all kinds of other stuff, but I don't have it on right now because it takes up a lot of screen space. But anyway, here's the farm and the gates, and you have to make sure you close the gates behind you because the animals inside might get out and the animals outside might get in, and we don't want the animals eating up our food supplies. The glow on these plants is OOC, but there's no way to get rid of it because they are nomad. And we have here our resident skeletal guitar player who actually does play, as you can hear. He plays the same thing over and over and over. And it will drive you crazy. As pretty as it is. So he's going to stop now. There. He can keep miming. Nah, he doesn't even have to do that. There we go. Okay, so we're going into the farmyard. Now, in. Sometimes I'm a little too quick on those gates. There. Okay, in, Misty. All right. And in here, we have lots and lots of creatures. Ducks, ducklings. Watch out for the ducklings. They will throw you for a loop, literally. Roosters, chickens, cattle, goats. You can milk the cows. You can harvest from the weeds over here. I forget what they give you, but there are lots of things that you can do here on the farm. Enid, and I forget what I named the other cow, but they all had names at one point. Excuse me, Enid. And grandmother's rocking chair. Now, and here's the grape vineyard. You can pick grapes off the vines, and there's something else you can do over here. I forget what it is. Oh, you can chop wood. And there are just lots of chores that can be done on the farm. All of the see, she just tripped over that duckling. I told you to watch out for the ducklings. They're hilarious. You'll be standing there talking to somebody, and suddenly something pushes you, and you look down. It's a little itty bitty bird. But yeah, there are all sorts of chores that you can do out in the gardens out there as well. You can gather and you can plant. You can weed. You can hoe. So that's quite fun. And I may come back later and do some of that. The rocking chair here, grandmother frequently will be found sitting on the porch, rocking away, doing her embroidery or whatever. You can also sit next to her on the bench there and have a nice conversation. The inside, and I think I am going at this point to get off of Misty. And I will send Misty. Yeah, this is the only problem with these horses. You get off them, but you actually don't get off, you get in. I'm going to send her home. Never stand behind a horse's tail. Or behind a horse, but warp home. There we go. Now that will put her back in the pasture where I first picked her up. Very convenient. There's also a way to warp all of the horses home. It's under that pile of hay in the feed bin there. You just hope that the cows don't nudge into it and send your horse home while you're out riding. We did have it set up to pay people for their work here, and that's what that white sign is for, but not very many people took advantage of that. It's probably just as well. We could have run out of lindens pretty quick. This is the inside of the farmhouse. I never really got much done in here. But we do have a kitchen back here. Oh, well, actually we have an upstairs, which would have been grandmother's bedroom if she could have climbed the stairs, which she probably could. She's a lot tougher than she looks. The kitchen is in here. I've lost my way around. Here we go. See, with a sink and a bucket and a mop, you can mop the floor. Yeah, if you can get the right angle here. Scrub the floor. I think you can also mop the floor. Nah, we're not going to bother with that. You could mop the floor. It's these things are all set up nicely. You can cut vegetables. Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna get the angle on this camera right one of these years. Yeah, just about the time the whole thing comes down, that's when I'll have it together. And it's coming down in just a few days, unfortunately. But that's why I'm doing this tour. And we have a bucket of apples over here. There's apples all over the place for some reason. They were probably because they were one of the first crops that we were able to grow here. Okay, so we've got a grain field, we've got our vegetable garden, and all kinds of other things. And we have a mill, which actually does have a working mill inside there. You can mill corn. We had somebody, I mean, you can't, actually you're not animated, but it's, you know, we did have somebody role-playing, working at the mill. Nothing much over here. I was going to do an underwater build down here, but I really didn't get very far with it. Let's see if I think I've just put a bunch of stuff down here. I don't think it didn't really get organized much. So, but this little area here was going to be sort of along the lines of what we have over there with the, oops, up. Alyra, up is that way, there we go. Along the lines of what we had over there with, around Captain Nemo's. This is original. This is the landing zone. And it's a graveyard here, where you quite appropriately zone in. Much as you would revive in EverQuest 2 or World of Warcraft, especially WoW, you revive in a graveyard. So this is where you arrive in Port Luskan. We do have some birds and things. We have a magpie, and I guess, as I said, a lot of the birds that are out are actually making some of the sounds. That's why we have nice random sounds. At some point I'll shut up and just let us listen. Maybe I'll do that here. Have a seat by the fire, in conversation with another person that would be sitting next to me. You might want to notice something about that fire. It's a little strange, isn't it? Let me zone in on that so you can see it. Ooh, it's not just dead bodies. They're actually moving a little bit. That's kind of freaky. I never noticed that part of it before. But yes, we have a fire that burns people, and for some reason we all just kind of accepted that. We have a lot of things here that are interactive. You can sit on any of these. Oops, no, that's not what I want to do. I keep forgetting I'm not in a game where I can just click on things and do things. So let's sit here and see what we get. She can sit here and play the guitar. Of course, it doesn't sound as good as the ghost playing did. It's sort of a blue guitar. Maybe that's because she's playing the blue. Never mind. Yes, it's already animating my avatar. Of course it can animate my avatar. I'm not sure if that shows in there, but it was asking me if I would let the guitar be played. So, okay. So we're going to stand up, and we are going to go. There are all kinds of ways that you can sit on those stumps, which is really nice.